Hello guys, and welcome to this special morning discussion here for June 2nd, 2020. And we're going to be talking about Tropical Depression 3 here this morning. Here in short order, I'm going to be talking about the cyclone near India too, so that'll be in a separate video in about an hour or so. So stay tuned for that. Yeah, Tropical Depression 3. It now has winds of 35 miles per hour. The pressure is down to 1,003 millibars. That was up from my last update video last night from 1,005. The location is 19.6 north and 92.4 west, and it's moving west at 3 miles per hour. So, I don't know if I'm expecting that southward jog anymore, to be honest. Because the National Hurricane Center said it was going to keep moving west for the time being. I don't know how many days that might be, but maybe we might have a very slight southward turn, like this, very meandering, and then do this. All right, so here is the latest depression moving slowly westward over the Bay of Campeche, life-threatening heavy rainfall and flooding to continue over portions of Mexico and Central America. Alright, we're going to take a look at most of this stuff here. So, we're going to take a look first at the public advisory. And for all of you compass people out there, it's present movement west or 270 degrees at 3 miles an hour. So that's for all of you compass lovers out there. The tropical storm warnings are in pretty much the same places as they were before. Oh, this is new, 25 inches in some spots now, so you gotta pay really, really close attention to that. Because holy cow. 20 inches of rain over the weekend. Storm total amounts of 35 inches are possible. 35 inches, people. That is a recipe for disaster. That is copious amounts of rain. So, please just stay inside, you know, and, just try to be safe from the floods. Tropical storm conditions are expected to first reach the coast within the warning area tonight, and the next complete advisory is at 10 a.m. Central Daylight Time or 11 a.m. Eastern Daylight Time. Forecast discussion. Alright. Deadly flooding has already been occurring in portions of Guatemala and El Salvador. The depression is expected to bring heavy rainfall to portions of southern Mexico, Guatemala, Honduras, and El Salvador, which could cause life-threatening flash flooding and mudslides. Tropical storm conditions are expected along the coast of Mexico, where tropical storm warning is affecting. The system is forecast to begin moving northward across the Gulf of Mexico later this week. However, it is too soon to specify the location and timing of any potential impacts along the U.S. Gulf Coast. See, this is important because the National Hurricane Center doesn't even know really where it's really going once it makes that northward turn. I mean, the models sure can paint you a picture, but we're still 6, 7, 8 days out from a landfall somewhere. So we don't know if it's really going to be from Texas to Florida. We just don't know. It's pretty much impossible to tell at this point. It's all going to depend on how fast the high pressure builds in and how fast it takes for the high pressure to die out. That's the key to the games right now, because it is being blocked right now by a ridge of high pressure. That's why it's not going anywhere. So pretty much what it's doing now is waiting for that high pressure to die out a little bit so it can start moving. And sometimes it takes a day, sometimes it takes 4 days. It just depends on how strong the high pressure really is. Anyways, here is the position in max winds. So right now it's 35, 40 miles per hour at 12 hours, which I think the way it's looking right now, which I'll show you guys here shortly, I do believe by 11 a.m. or 2 p.m. we're going to be seeing a tropical storm, because it's looking pretty healthy right now. 24 hours is 45, 50, 50, 50, 50, 60, 65. So it is still showing strengthening even past 60 miles per hour. So I'm gonna keep to my prediction and say this would be a cat 1 hurricane at this current point in time, because that's how the things are evolving here with this storm here. Let's take a look at the wind speed possibilities, probabilities, or possibilities, same thing. 5 to 10 here in this area, 10 to 20, 20 to 30, 30 40, 40 50, 50 60 here in this brown. And this is going to slowly drift towards this coast here as the day goes on. So people along the north Mexico coast needs to pay attention to this. What about arrival times? Yeah, that's about right. They'll be arriving at Tuesday tonight at 8 p.m. And then as the days go on, the system is going to start moving north and east a little bit towards the Gulf Coast. It's pretty much inevitable. If a storm gets caught and trapped in here, it's either gonna have to go one of 3 places. It's gonna have to go into Mexico, into the Gulf, or it's gonna hit Cuba. Or if the very lucky cases, it may just go through the Florida Straits, but that is rarely, extremely rare of that to happen. So this is a pretty much a solid chance of somebody getting affected by this. What about the cone here, real quick? Yeah, the X marks the spot right in here. Tuesday at 7 a.m., which was an hour and 49 minutes ago from where I live. As you can see, it's gonna start drifting slowly. It's just prolonging the agony here in Mexico, man. We're still gonna get 2.5 days more of rain from the system before it finally starts to drag away. Maybe even 3 days, which is that's some serious business right there. And it looks like, from the looks of this cone, the ground zero for the storm is going to be somewhere in Louisiana. So that is that. Let's take a look at the storm information here, and as you can see here, most of the models do take it up into Louisiana here. The GFS model, the CEMI, all of these take it into Louisiana. Now there's some that take them into Texas too. So Texas is not out of the picture here, and neither is Florida if this one comes to fruition. We don't know about this one. This one is an outlier, so I don't pay attention to these or these, to be honest, because those are just there just to be there. I think, in my opinion, but they mostly get it all wrong here. So we're just gonna stick to these, 6 or 7 model runs here. Let's take a look at the forecast guidance, and as you can see, there's still a couple of, you know, models that like to keep this pretty weak, and then there's the majority of them that put it into a tropical storm, storm. I don't know why I call it a storm. It just happened that way. Even one takes it into the category 1 status, though I think these numbers are a little low. If it does go through some modest strengthening out of nowhere, I do believe these will be higher to close to Cat 1 or even Cat 2 status if this really gets going, like ASAP. This, because as you know, the water temperatures in the Gulf of Mexico are pretty warm for this time of the year. We're talking about mid 80s, so that's plenty enough fuel for rapid intensification of the storm, and some people are calling for that. Let's take a look at the visible here, and as you can see, it is starting to look pretty damn good. You can see it blow up near the center of circulation, and that's why I feel that at the 11 o'clock hour or the 2 p.m. hour, we are going to see this as a tropical storm, because you can see this blow up, man. The blow up in here, the blow up in here. You can see the outflows, pretty good. This is just looking like a really good looking storm right now, and we'll just have to see here, and like I said, in the next coming days where this is gonna go. So, but it is now time for us to see some models here, and firstly we're gonna take a look at the GFS model. It shows 6 hours from the point of this rendering out that it's going to be a 999 millibar tropical storm, which is at 12Z, which is pretty much the time that I have had predicted, around 11 a.m. 2 p.m. time. So it looks like the GFS might be on the money with this one. And as you can see, it goes right back into Mexico and then comes right back out and hits Louisiana as a 995 tropical storm, which is pretty modest, really. It's like a 50-55 mile per hour storm with gusts up to 65. So that's enough to pick up, small objects, get flash flooding in the sorts that comes with a modest tropical storm. Alright, with that, let's take a look at the European model. And there's our system right in there. It looks like it's half on, half off by the look of that isotherm. And we're going to go out through time, and there it is. And the European is looking like a pretty modest Cat 1 hurricane going into Houston area, or in between Houston and the border of Texas, Louisiana. And this if this pans out, this would be amazing, because we're gonna get our first hurricane this early in the season. We don't usually get our first hurricane until July, so if this pans out, this will be fun for the trackers out there like myself, but not so fun for the people in Houston and Louisiana. So please bear in mind that the European is the most accurate for tropical weather. So if this pans out, you need to get your preparations in order, because this is only 6 days out. and 6 days out is usually, you know, on the borderline of you know, accurate to not accurate. So I get this about a 70-30 chance of happening. So just because of the European is a so reliable model for tropical development, and then it strengthens over land. it's literally strengthens over land the whole time. So this is just an interesting system to keep track of. What about the Canadian model? What does the Canadian model say? All right, this is. Oh, let's go back one. This is 6 hours from now. Valid at 6C. Oh, this is the 0Z run. That's why. So this has already come to fruition here, in my opinion. We got a tropical, and it shows the system going back over Mexico and Cancun in the Bay of Campeche, Yucatan Peninsula earlier, and then it comes out and becomes a pretty modest tropical storm for Louisiana. Now, you know, this is the worrying thing here, guys. All the models right now are showing a picture between Texas and Louisiana, and you know, it's something that needs to be watched. You know, I will be on top of this for you guys, and because that's what I do and that's what I love. I love to track these storms, and I love to keep you guys safe. You know, that's what I do. But yes, Louisiana once again with the Canadian model is going right into Louisiana with this. Now, the NavGen, we don't look at the NavGen very often, but we're going to be looking at it for this update here. And as you can see, this has 1,004 millibars at the 12Z hour. So let's look out in time, see what happens with it. Yeah, it shows it as a pretty high up there Category 1 hurricane going right into New Orleans. So, you know, these models are slowly transcending into it wanting to be a hurricane. So, you know, as I said, pay attention to your local news stations or tune in to me if you want to. You know, I'll give you guys the most accurate data that I can possibly give. Alright, and the last thing I want to take a look at is the Icon model. And it has it right now as 1,003 millibars. We're going to go through time, and I think the Icon is still painting up. Yeah, the Icon is still painting up this massive hurricane. And this is about 5 days out. And you know, from this point, there's still another 2 days before it hits the coast. So it's probably, you know, as we go forward, this is probably going to paint another Category 3 hurricane. I wouldn't doubt it. So, but right now, it's a 980 at this current location. Anyways, I want to thank you guys for watching. And as I said, I'm going to have another update video here really shortly about the cyclone near India. So have a nice day, and I'll catch you back with the next update of the system sometime in the afternoon hours.